Today, I want to share something slightly personal, so that's why I'm in this room full of darkness with a little light and with my little mic to make it a little more intimate between us. It's something I've never mentioned or talked about in my vlogs, and it's something I feel like a lot of us go through but don't talk about it enough, which is getting out of a slump. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a rut, feeling unmotivated, or going through an existential crisis, I hope this video can bring you some comfort and guidance. In my YouTube videos, I often shared how to be productive, how I balance life, work, school, and everything. So I feel like I'm portrayed as this person who has her life put together. But in reality, slumps have been a recurring theme in my life. I've always pushed myself really hard, and it was normal for me to take multiple jobs and do multiple things at the same time. To make it worse, whenever I made a mistake or didn't give 1000%, I would beat myself up for it and give myself such a hard time. This led me into an exhausting cycle, pushing myself to the limit, burning out, falling into a slump, and clawing my way out, only to repeat it all over again. After living in this loop for way too long, I decided enough was enough. I wanted to break free from the cycle and build habits that could help me avoid these slumps, or at least make it less frequent. After multiple trials and errors, I've discovered some habits that actually made a difference and helped me to become a stronger and more balanced person. Now, I still go through slumps here and there. I actually had a slump a couple days ago, but now I'm able to get out of the rut way quicker, and it happens less frequently now. So I'm gonna break down the habits into two categories, one physical and one mental. So now let's talk about these habits. 1. Getting out of the bed within 5 minutes of waking up. I used to waste so much time lying in bed, just scrolling through my phone, which would instantly make me feel like the day was off to a lazy start. By forcing myself to get out of the bed within 5 minutes of waking, I've noticed it's like flipping a switch in my mind. It creates this momentum for the rest of the day where I feel I'm more in control and less overwhelmed. To be honest, it's one small step that sets the tone for being proactive. Second habit is making my bed after waking up. Making the bed seems very trivial, but it gives a quick sense of accomplishment right as you wake up. It's a really good reminder that small things do matter. Plus, having a tidy bed makes the space more inviting and less chaotic, which has a surprising effect on the mental state. A clean space for me equals clearer mind. Now, the third one is morning workouts. Working out in the morning 1000% helps me to get out of my head and into my body. I used to carry negative thoughts from the moment I woke up, but physical activity pushes those aside. After good workouts, I feel very proud of myself for accomplishing something so early in the day, which makes it so much easier to complete other tasks throughout the day. 4 is eating healthier. When I'm in a slump, I often rely on sweets like chocolate, cakes, just anything sweet. I would eat junk food throughout the day because I just feel too lazy to cook. But if you think about it, it's such a bad cycle because when you're in a bad mood, you eat junk food, but eating heavy and greasy food makes you feel sluggish, more lazy, both physically and mentally, and it's just a really bad cycle. I just try to force myself to eat healthier, more nutritious food, and I've noticed that my mood gets better over time. It made me realize how much what we eat impacts our bodies, but also our minds. Now, the next habit is waking up before 10 a.m., even on weekends. Sleeping in used to feel comforting, but now that actually made me feel lazier and less motivated throughout the day. Now I try to wake up at the same time throughout the entire week, even during the weekends. It helps me to keep my internal clock steady and helps me maintain a routine, which is very critical when trying to get out of a rut. The earlier I start my day, the more productive and more positive I feel throughout the day. Now, the next one is eating at least 2 meals a day. Sometimes I would skip meals when I'm in a rut, either because I didn't feel hungry or I got distracted by my negative thoughts. But skipping meals left me feeling even more drained. So eating at least 2 meals a day helped me to stabilize my energy and my mood. Remember, food is fuel, So when I nourish my body, I feel like I can take on the day a bit more confidently. Now I'm going to talk about some of the mental habits. I've touched on this very slightly already, but it's celebrating small wins. I used to only focus on what I hadn't accomplished, which made me feel like I was always falling short. Now I make an effort to celebrate even the smallest wins, whether it's completing a workout, making the bed, or just crossing off things off my things to-do list. These little celebrations, although seem very trivial, help me remind that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. It helps me build momentum, which is very critical for breaking the cycle of self-doubt. Now, the next thing is letting go of perfectionism. Honestly, this is something that I'm still working on. My perfectionism used to paralyze me. If I couldn't do something perfectly, I would hesitate to even start, or I would overwork myself to the point of exhaustion. Learning to let go of the feeling of perfection is so challenging, but has such an incredible feeling. So to do this, I try to focus on progress over perfection. I would remind myself that it's okay to make mistakes. They're part of learning and growing. And this mindset has made me much kinder to myself and less afraid to try new things. Next is journaling my thoughts. To be honest, journaling was not my thing. I'm not the person to, sit down, write down my thoughts. I honestly didn't know what to write down. I always felt like when you're journaling, you have to write complete thoughts and has to be organized. But I realized journaling doesn't have to be that extravagant. When I feel stuck, just writing down my thoughts, even though it doesn't make sense, just writing down whatever helped me to untangle the mess in my head and figure out what's really bothering me. Oftentimes, I feel like I'm in a negative mood, but I can't figure out why I'm in such a bad mood. So in those kind of situations, I just try to put my feelings into words, and afterwards, I just feel less overwhelmed. Next is setting realistic goals. I used to overwhelm myself with massive to-do lists, and to be honest, I still do that. And those to-do lists often made me feel overwhelmed, which only left me feeling defeated when I can't cross everything off the to-do list. Now I focus on setting realistic 1 to 3 goals per day. It makes my day feel more manageable and gives me a clear sense of direction. Achieving those small but realistic goals helped me to keep myself motivated and prevented me from falling back into a slump feeling like I haven't done anything. Now the last one is taking intentional breaks. In the past, I would push myself until I was completely burned out. Now I'm practicing telling myself that taking intentional breaks isn't slacking. It's necessary for recharging. Whether it's a 10-minute walk, reading a book, or sitting quietly just with a cup of coffee, these short breaks can help reset your mind and return to the tasks with renewed energy. So key thing to remember, rest is also productive too. So these are all the physical and mental habits that have actually helped me throughout the years to get out of a rut. I hope these inspire you to take small but meaningful steps to get out of your own slump. Remember, these slumps don't define you. They're just a phase. With the right tools, you can move past them. If you've been struggling, just remember that you're not alone and it's okay to take your time. I decided to make this video because these are all the habits that are quite obvious in a way, but it's sometimes hard to remind yourself all of these very obvious things. I found that hearing from someone else and just reminding myself helps a lot. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything else other than the ones that I've mentioned in this video that have helped you during the tough times. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video then. Bye bye!